Happy Monday, everybody, and we've got a ton to talk about. Matthew is not going to be with us today. He will be back tomorrow, though. So let's just get right into it. How about this? On Monday, we'll be talking about what's going on in the NFL, NHL, and the World Baseball Classics. The Dolphins just detonated the biggest financial bomb in league history. The Lightnings and the Sabres had a game last night that many have called the best NHL game possibly in the last 3 years. And Korea keeps its World Baseball Classic dreams alive with a dramatic one in Tokyo. And tonight we get to see a heavyweight showdown in Pool B on Fox at 8 o'clock between USA and Mexico. So let's get down to it. All right, let's start with Tua. Now, we all know that Miami has been very cagey about what they're going to do with Tua. I mean, he's had, I believe, 3 concussions, and there is just some concern at this point that we knew Miami was either going to trade him or cut him, but we just didn't know when. Okay, and that's kind of a problem. So let's start with the Dolphins. They made the most dramatic move so far of the offseason. The team officially cut ties with Tua Tagovailoa and handed the offense to Malik Willis, who was the backup quarterback at Green Bay. Now, as you know, Matt and I have been really high on Malik Willis. We thought that he would be a steal for whoever got him in the offseason. And so Miami, lands Malik Willis. That means that Tua has no place on the roster. And so they decided to cut him. Now, general manager Jon Eric Sullivan didn't dance around it. He told Tua and his representatives that the franchise plan to move in a new direction. He made it clear. He made it final. And the Dolphins will release Tua when the league opens the ability to do so, which of course is this week on Wednesday. Now, here's the big part. Miami will eat a record-setting $99 million in dead cap space. No team has ever hit like that. Not even close. The previous record was Denver, which $85 million when they cut Russell Wilson. Miami just kind of blew past that. Now, this is a franchise reset. It's a full teardown, and they're starting a quarterback. So why Malik Willis and why now? Well, the Dolphins believe Willis gives them the upside, the mobility and the familiarity of the new regime that they want in Miami. Willis reunites with Sullivan and new head coach Jeff Hafferty. All three worked together in Green Bay, where Willis put up eye-catching numbers in his limited action. He completed 70% of his passes. He was basically 9 of them were 70 yards or more, 6 touchdowns he threw with no interceptions across 3 games over 2 seasons. That's a small sample size. But the Dolphins see a quarterback who can grow into the job. They see a leader who fits their system, and they see a clean break from Tua and the Tua era. Now, Tua, for his part, thanked Miami on social media today. He talked about the support he received, the life that he built, and the regrets he carries for not delivering that long-awaited playoff breakthrough. He leaves with 76 starts, 44 and 32 is his record, and a legacy that will spark debates, frankly, around South Florida for years to come. So what does it mean for the AFC East? Well, this move shakes up the AFC East. Miami now enters the season with a new coach, a new quarterback, a new roster that continues to shred big names. Tyreek Hill is gone. Bradley Chubb is gone. Tua is gone. Minka Fitzpatrick was traded to the Jets earlier today. The Dolphins are rebuilding in real time, and the rest of the division is watching closely. Buffalo remains the favorite. The Jets are trying to get stabilized. New England is still searching for their identity, but certainly They had a great year last year. There's no reason to believe that they're going to backslide much this year. In Miami, well, they're betting on a fresh start with Malik Willis. We'll see how that works out in South Beach. Well, last night, there was an NHL thriller. The Lightning and the Sabres played in what many people are calling the best NHL game in 3 to 4 years. Now, normally, when a game ends with one team scoring 8 and the other is 7, as last night, the Sabres scored 8, the Lightning scored 7. You think that it's kind of like something you see in an all-star game, right? There's no defense. Everybody's playing crazy. But this was for first place, folks. Tampa Bay and Buffalo delivered. It had to be one of the wildest games in memory. Buffalo won the game in a 8-7 track meet that looked more like a 3-on-3 in overtime that went over 60 minutes than it did in a real game. The game had everything: lead changes, defensive breakdowns, fights, highlight reel goals, playoff level atmosphere. With first place on the line, Buffalo's top line took over late. Tampa Bay kept answering and answering. However, the Sabres finally closed the door in the final minutes of the game to win. If these two teams meet in the postseason, buckle up, folks, because it's going to be one heck of a matchup. So chaos is written all over a rematch between the Lightning and the Sabres, and I'm all in for it. Let's take a quick look at what's going on in the World Baseball Classic. Korea stays alive. Korea needed everything to go right to stay alive in the World Baseball Classic. And somehow, some way, everything did. Korea beat Australia 7-2 in a winner go home game. Bo Gi-moon crushed a 2-run homer and drove in 4 runs, and Hee Min-ha delivered the knockout blow in the 9th, and the celebration was on. Early in the week, Korea celebrated home runs, spreading their arms like airplane wings and carrying them like an inflatable M for Miami. They really looked like a team that could make it to the finals in Miami. Now they get a real airplane. Korea advances to the quarterfinals and keeps its championship hopes alive. This team plays with emotion, it plays with swagger, it plays with urgency, and they're becoming one of the best stories so far of this outstanding tournament. And now we get to the main event. That's tonight on Fox. The game everyone has circled in their brackets. It's U.S. versus Mexico. These two baseball powerhouses with fan bases that travel, two teams that know each other very, very well, and rosters that are loaded with major league talent, will meet tonight in Durkin Park in Houston. First pitch, as I said earlier, 8 p.m. on Fox. This game could be decided as beside who wins Pool B. The winner takes control. The loser faces a much tougher path in the knockout rounds. U.S. brings power and depth, star-level pitching. Mexico brings emotion, contact hitting, and a lineup that grinds out at bats. This matchup is really going to be fun to watch. Again, that's tonight, 8 p.m. on Fox. NFL free agents begins today, although, like we said before, the official time, you can start signing people today. You can start doing, making trades, whatever you need to do, you can do it today. But it will not be, since, as I said earlier, the league opens doors for business on Wednesday. Everything that happens up until Wednesday is not official. By the way, let's move on to the NBA. There's a lot of teams that are playing, shocking for playoff situations and seedings. Check out your schedule for tonight. There's plenty of games that, if you're an NBA fan, that are going to be very, very interesting. Same for college basketball as they get in as we closer to March Madness. Let's jump over real quick and check the Major League Baseball scoreboard. Let's start with the World Baseball Classic. We've moved to the top of the 9th inning. Colombia, 0-3, is winning in a game against Panama. You can see that game right now on FS2. 4-3, top of the 9th. Mid-7th, Great Britain with a 4-1 lead over Brazil. Great Britain and Brazil are both 0-3. Okay. Cuba, Puerto Rico. That game's tonight, 2:00. I'm sorry, both teams are 2-0. So two undefeated teams, really good teams. Cuba and Puerto Rico tonight. That game can be seen on FS1. Venezuela takes on Nicaragua. Venezuela is 2-0. Nicaragua has yet to win. So that game's on FS2 tonight, should you wish to watch. Let's get to some, we talked about the Mexico-U.S. game being at 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. Let's move over and take a look at Korea playing Australia. We said earlier today that Korea won that game 7-2. The Dominican, 3-0 they are. They just beat Israel by a score of 10-1. Israel finishes at 1-2. Let's move over to Major League Baseball. The Rays and the Tigers in the top of the ninth are tied at 4 in a game being played in Lakeland. Phillies and the Red Sox are down in Fort Myers. Red Sox in the top of the eighth are on top of the Phils by a score of 5-3. At the end of 6 in West Palm, the Astros are beating the Cardinals by a score of 5-2. Meanwhile, over in Venice on the West Coast, you got the Braves 9 and the Twins 4. The Guardians and the Royals will get together in Cactus League action. That game is set to start at 4:05 Eastern Daylight Time. Also, starting at the end of our show, the Reds will host the Athletics. That game is a 4:05 start. Giants host the Angels, 4:05. Rockies, White Sox, 4:05. Mariners, D-backs, 4:05. Rangers taking on the Padres. That game is at 4:10. 4:10 for the Dodgers Brewers. 6:10, an early game tonight in the Grapefruit League. The Mets host the Marlins. That's going to be on the Major League Baseball Network. So if you want to watch some baseball tonight, it's on the MLB Network. Pirates Yankees. That game is 6:35 in Tampa. And let's see if there's any other games left. There is one game that just went final, and that's the Cardinals beating the Orioles by a score of 7-2. All right. So that pretty much does it for us today, folks. Hope that you've had a great day. We will have Matt back with us tomorrow, and we'll be talking college football, and we'll be talking certainly World Baseball Classic, and we'll be able to react to what went on in the game tonight, of course, with U.S. and Mexico. So until then, have a great day. Enjoy having you around, and come on back tomorrow, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.